Hello, this is Sean Copeland, Chairman and CEO of Regent Bank, and welcome to another edition of Regent Elevate. And today we're going to wrap up our series on building a high-performance culture. Now let me just give you a really quick review if you haven't been with us over the last few weeks. First and foremost, we said you got to have a very clear vision and have core values that guide the direction and actions of your team. Second of all, you've got to take your time and hire well. Really be disciplined in this. Use testing, use whatever you can to make sure you're making good hires. Pay more, do what you got to do to get the right people on the bus. Three, the importance of onboarding, making sure that when you're bringing people on, they are enculturated into your team. You're talking to them about culture and expectations. You're not just throwing them into the job. Four, building energy within your team, creating an environment in where your people are excited, and we talked about some ways that we do that here at Regent Bank. And then finally, showing that you care, making sure that your employees understand that you care about them. Now, our final step is measurement and reward. Now, here's the challenge. Most people, when you say create a high-performance culture, this is the first thing they go to. They go to, okay, we're gonna measure our employees, we're gonna reward them, we're gonna give them quotas, we're gonna fire them if they don't meet the quotas, etc., etc. I want to argue today very passionately that you cannot move to this step without those last 5 steps that I mentioned to you. If you don't build the caring, and if you don't build the core values, and if you don't hire the right people, this is not going to work. This only works if you put those 5 in place. So having said that, let's talk about measurement and reward. What we want to do in measurement is we want to create leading behaviors. Okay, now a leading behavior is an activity that you and I do that leads to a result. And let me give you some examples. It might be a number of sales calls. It might be a number of written notes to clients. It might be visiting VIP clients. I mean, there are all types of, it might be a certain type of conversation. It's the activity that we do that leads to the results. A lot of people measure the result, and in my experience, that doesn't work because we can't always control the result. We can control the activities that we do that will ultimately lead to the result. So here's how we're going to measure and reward. First and foremost, we're going to sit down and we're going to think about the behaviors that drive great results in our organization. So for example, there is no doubt that creating a great pipeline leads to growth. And the leading behavior that creates a great pipeline is developing a good prospect list and having good quality conversations with those people. So conversations with quality prospects is the leading behavior. So you want to think through your organization, what are the most important leading behaviors to us? Once you have those, you're going to train your team on these behaviors. So I'm not just going to say, hey, everybody go out and get great prospects and have good conversations with them. I'm going to teach people how to do that. How do we prospect? How do we have good quality conversations? How do we conduct the leading behavior that I'm looking for in the right way? Because people won't do it if they don't feel confident, and the only way they can feel confident is through training and most often through role play and practicing that behavior. Number 3, once that is done, then we're going to measure that behavior. We have to have an easy way, whether it's a CRM system or some type of online system or even a spreadsheet. We have to have an easy way for our people to record these behaviors so we know that they are doing what it is that we need them to do, and we need that to be reported on a regular basis. Now, my experience is that if you will measure and widely report the results, you will find drastic changes in behavior. You don't have to do anything. If everybody sees a scorecard of how everyone's doing in a particular area, it is remarkable how quickly they will adjust their behavior. And then finally, you want to reward those who do the best. So it's not always about let's have a high performance culture, let's just throw a bunch of incentives out there, and if you get to a sales goal then we pay you this incentive. it's not that simple because people don't even know how to get there. So we want to create the leading behaviors, train on those, measure those, and then ultimately reward on those. So I hope you've enjoyed this series on creating a high performance culture. Since we're getting to the end of the year, our next series is going to be finishing the year strong. So we're going to be discussing tips for finishing 2017 strong and getting prepared for a great 2018. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.